I'm Davy. Awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Stories, where I tell funny stories from my past or go on a rant in an effort to make you laugh. And this week, as you guys know, I work in retail. I've worked in retail for a long time, worked many different retail jobs, and this is one of those things that annoys everybody who works in some kind of a store. Everybody. And it's when you witness somebody with this attitude, where they are going around, they're buying stuff, and they decide they don't want something. Instead of just walking up to the cashier and telling them they don't want it, they decide to go, "Oh, I'll just put this anywhere." And they do just that. Don't get me wrong, the people working there, we're not ridiculous. We understand you've been shopping, you've been walking all over the place. What you had picked up and decided you didn't want is way over there. You don't want to walk over there. That's fine, we understand that. But why do you have to put it where it doesn't go? Because what's annoying about that is not only do we now have to grab it and go find where it goes, but if we don't find it and do that, we have to deal with another customer later going, "Well, it said it was that price, so I want that price." Even though there was only one there, making it clear that it didn't go there, and making it pretty clear that it was probably a customer put it there. I want that price! It annoys the crap out of us because, again, all you had to do was just tell the cashier you didn't want it. They'll take it, they'll set it aside, and somebody later will come by and put it back. That's fine. Avoids a big hassle. But people are such jerks when it comes to where they put stuff. Customers today are so self-entitled. One time at a different store I worked at, I was a stocker. I was putting stuff on the shelf, and literally a customer walked up a couple feet away from me, grabbed something, walked past me, and really right next to me decided, never mind, and threw it right down where I was working. So I didn't know back. I was like, "Are you freaking serious?" Picked it up and walked the 2 feet over to where it actually goes and put it back, and he had the nerve to get defensive. Hey, I'm the customer. So what? Because you're a customer, you decide you don't want something and you can't show enough courtesy to walk 2 feet? And you're going to throw it down there like right in front of me? That's your job. Yeah, that's not my job description to take that disrespect. It's 2 feet. If you didn't want it, you could have just walked back over 2 feet and put it away. Now I admit that situation was just how disrespectful that was. Most of the time, I do what most people would do and not say anything. Because as rude as it is, it's just not worth it. But I've told people stories like this about people putting crap there that doesn't belong there. And I've had people, my own friends, get all defensive like, I do that. Well, you're a jerk. Why am I a jerk? Because that person is standing right there. And they're sitting there thinking like, why are you doing that? Why can't you just tell me? So yeah, everybody that's watched you do that thinks you're a jerk. I don't care what they think. Yeah, I love that phrase of I don't care what they think. Because what that means is I'm going to be a jerk and I know it. But I've continued the argument like, why is it so hard to just look at the cashier and say, I changed my mind on this? What, do you think they're going to make you buy it? No, but it's awkward. How is it awkward? They don't care. They deal with it all the time. The only time we care about people deciding they didn't want something is when they decided they didn't want half of their $300 order. That gets annoying, sure, but a couple of items, they don't care. Yeah, but it makes me feel like they're judging me. I thought you said you didn't care what they think. I've literally had that conversation. Where you see it the most, though, is when you have to be a cashier. When I used to be a cashier, it was really annoying. Because every cashier in their checkout lane, they see it all over the place. All over that area in front of them, where there's a bunch of candies and chapsticks and gift cards and little crappy toys that are there so that when you go through the checkout, your kids will beg for them. That's where most of that crap ends up. And again, they do it right in front of us. We're right there. You could just wait like 10 seconds and say, I don't want this. And all we're going to say to you is, okay, take it, set it aside, and later, depending where you work, either we'll go put it back or somebody will come along and grab it so they can go take it back. That just depends on the store. But either way, we don't care about that. What we care about is you cluttering our area because you're too much of an inconsiderate jerk to just simply say, I changed my mind on this. Now, me as a cashier, I was one of those that I wouldn't be rude about it. I would just simply say, excuse me, if you don't want that, can you just hand it to me? I'll have somebody put it back. And I will say most of the time, that would be the end of the discussion. They'd say, okay, hand me the item. I'd put it away. And if they had a couple more things they changed their mind on, they would go, okay, I don't want this either. I would take it, put it back. No problems. But sometimes, even though I just politely asked them, like, hey, if you don't want that, can you just hand it to me? They will hand me that one item, and then 5 seconds later turn around and do it again. So I'll ask them again. Excuse me, if you've changed your mind on something, can you please just hand it to me? And what I love about it the most is, even the first time, if they don't say anything, it's usually accompanied with a dirty look like, I had my heart on putting that in with the Milky Ways. But, again, they'll usually just give me that dirty look and hand me the second item. Once in a while, even though I've now asked them twice, politely, not to do that, they'll do it again. Because in their mind, they're just determined. This NyQuil needs to be in there with the gum. So, again, I will be like, ma'am, sorry to generalize it, but I've never had to do that 3 times with a dude. If you don't want an item, instead of putting it in with that stuff, can you please just tell me you don't want it? I will happily set it aside. Now, yes, at that point, you can hear the annoyance in my voice. How could you not? How could I not be annoyed? I asked you twice, could you please extend just a tiny bit of courtesy to me and don't do that? But you insist on doing it anyway. Because in your mind, you're like, this DVD needs to be mixed in with the batteries. But here's the thing I would hate about having to say it 3 times. Usually by the 3rd time, that person's going to say something to me. Because this person obviously is very inconsiderate, knows it, doesn't care, and is determined to be inconsiderate. So they have no problem getting on to me. More than once, I've gotten to that point where 3 times I've asked them not to do it. Of course, I'm getting annoyed in the voice, and I've had somebody say something like, don't get annoyed with me for putting stuff there. But I have to be professional. I don't mean to be annoyed, ma'am, but I did ask you twice before to not do that, and you're ignoring me. I'm the customer. I can do that. Yes, that conversation's been had. And it sucks because I have to repress what I really want to say. Except there was one time I didn't. One glorious moment that I didn't have to hold back. And the reason that I did not have to hold back, the reason I was able to say what was on my mind, is because I didn't work there. My wife and I, we were at a grocery store, one I did not work at, one I have never worked at, and we're behind somebody doing that crap. And there's a cashier, and she's obviously like me. She asked her politely, please don't do that, just hand it to me. The woman turned around and again started putting stuff in with the knickknacks. And she politely again asked, please don't do that, just hand it to me. And the woman again started doing that. And the cashier again, like me, asked politely, but you could hear in her voice she was getting irritated. So of course, customer had to be like, oh, so what? I'm putting stuff where it doesn't go. Get over it. I'm the customer. And then this woman, assuming that I would be on her side, turns to me, looks me right in the face and says, can you believe this? No, I can't believe how ridiculously rude you are. Excuse me? You heard me. I can believe her asking you not to do that. She asked you politely 3 times not to do that, and you're gonna get on the defensive because you're freaking rude and self-entitled, spoiled piece of crap? I'm a customer, and it's her job. Yeah, you're making my point. You're a self-entitled, spoiled piece of crap. All she's asking for is a tiny little courtesy, just a tiny little courtesy of not throwing stuff in where it doesn't go and cluttering up her register. But instead of doing that, because you're buying some cream cheese, you think that entitles you to be the biggest jerk you want to be. Probably because you've never had a job where you've had to work with people. You just like to be the person being a jerk to people because you're insecure because your dad didn't hug you enough. You're rude. Yeah, you're right, I am rude, but I also don't work here, so I can say what she can't and call you a self-entitled Karen right to your face. The Karen had nothing left to say after that. Just gave me a shocked look, went on with her purchase, but you could see the anger in her face when she looked at the cashier who was like, I could tell on the inside that woman was dying because she wanted to let it out so bad, but she couldn't. Karen paid for her stuff, left, and now it was my turn. I got up to the front, said, hi, how you doing? I'm good. You work in retail, don't you? Sadly, yes. That must have felt amazing. Well, let me just say, if you ever get the opportunity to do what I just did, I highly recommend it. The last thing I'm going to say, though, is it does make me laugh, because this was several years ago, and as every year goes on, you're seeing less and less cashiers at stores, more and more self-checkouts. People are complaining and complaining and complaining about it, like they just need to hire more people, not understanding that what it comes down to is they can't make people work there. And even when they get people, they need people everywhere. If those people are insistent, they don't want to be cashiers, they're just going to say fine and put them somewhere else they need them. No one wants to be a cashier anymore because this is just one of the many things that they deal with from self-entitled jerk customers. I still work in retail, but I am not a cashier. I haven't been a cashier in a couple of years, and I'm happy about that. I absolutely hated it, and I'm absolutely loving all you people complaining about having to use self-checks, because that's just the thing. You people treat cashiers like crap, and then you have the nerve to turn around and wonder why no one wants to cashier no more. So there you have it. That's my story video this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos, and leave a comment. Tell me if you are or used to be a cashier and what you hate about it. Love you guys.